Peace kings, peace queens. It's another video. Hit the like, share, request, subscribe button. I don't make that many videos like I've said before. Unless I'm inspired. Today I'm very inspired. I want to talk today about Bill Cosby and this new documentary. Seems like it's Bill Cosby versus social engineering. Yeah. Being honest with you, I'm at a point where I'm tired of uh, feeling like when it comes down to black people or black men, celebrities in particular, that or black people in general, that we have such a aggressive need to want to bring each other down. Um, we already know the man been through the court system. We already know what the judgment is. We already know that he served time. We already know that could have been some things that he did wrong. We know he did a lot of things right for our people. But for black people to come together after the fact and make a documentary after all this man has done for his people, things he didn't have to do, man. I mean, giving away millions and millions of dollars to colleges. I mean, nobody, he didn't have to do that. Same thing with Michael Jackson. All this money they were giving away, it doesn't make it right. But you know what? It makes it that they cared. And I think that when we have celebrities that give back to the community, and we have celebrities that actually care enough to look back, I think we should have an equal response. The Bible says that the love of many, that love will cover the multitude of sins. If you look at many other nations, and I'm talking about Asians, I'm talking about Caucasians, I'm talking about, just think about it. Even if their people crosses the line and they have to judge them, they don't harp on it. They're not gonna bring it back up. They gotta keep propping it up as if that's what they want to be identified by. Our people got this thing where we're not only are we demonized, not only is our image demonized, but it's like we like to be demonized. We like for people to look at us as if we all retarded. Like we all can't be trusted. When other nations look at us and see how we do our heroes, they know that we can't be trusted. Look how we talk about Martin Luther King. Some of us got the nerve to actually talk foul about people who have sacrificed and given their lives for their people. I look at this in retrospect that I want to stand with my people. But if I'm around a bunch of people that can't wait to talk bad about me and spit on me, I'm not going to want to be down with you. Martin Luther King, he had some side relationships. But at the end of the day, are you going to chalk up everything he did to the fact that he had side relationships? This man brought an end to segregation and integration. He gave his life and he died for his people and he died for what he believed. That was more than what Obama ever did. Obama never even mentioned the word black. But I digress. I think we need to have a social responsibility to respect our predecessors and our ancestors more than we are doing. And I'm getting discouraged at the fact that they would even do a documentary, and then it's all black people doing a documentary. Like what do we need to talk about Bill Cosby? Really? We need to sit here and have a conversation about Bill Cosby negatively. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. We're gonna look at somebody who was considered America's dad, and we want to harp on trying to help tear down his image. And then when we get out here in these streets, we think that this world going to treat us any different. You got to remember, Bill Cosby represents the best of us. So if we are not protective of that image and that legacy, it's gonna pour down negatively on other black men. Oh, you don't get away. We don't get away. We don't get away from it. So we got to be very careful when we want to get up and harp on the negativity of our heroes. Now, did he? I want to tell you there's a difference. And me being from the hood and me being in social situations, I'm going to help some of you. There's a difference between drugging someone and giving someone drugs and partying with somebody. You know what the difference is? When you drug someone, you're waiting for the opportunity to take advantage of them. So you wait till their cup is to the side, and you're giving them drugs unknowingly. When you give when somebody's partying, and this is not something that I do now. You're giving somebody drugs, and they knowingly knowing that they're receiving these drugs. They're partying. They're it's a difference between you being a drug user and you being drugged. Most of those women that were with Bill Cosby were drug users. They came to party. They were asking for drugs. They received the drugs in their hands. They knew what it was. There's a level of accountability and responsibility with that. You understand? But what they want us to believe is that he went around drugging people, meaning they didn't know that they were receiving drugs. See the difference? If you don't know that I'm giving you drugs, I'm drugging you. But if you know that I'm giving you drugs and we're doing drugs together, which I don't do drugs, we're partying together. See the different scenario? If I have a drink and then I buy you a drink and you drink with me, then we're drinking together and we're partying. But if you have a regular orange juice and then I take vodka and I pour it into your drink and you didn't know that the vodka was in there, then I drugged you. This is what they're trying to do with Bill Cosby. They're trying to say he's drugging people, that he's sneaking drugs into their drinks or whatever. And I think that's not even the truth, because most of them, I've heard them with their own mouth say that he gave me some pills. Well, if he gave it to you, then you took the drugs. That means you was using it with him. So let's knock it off. Anyhow, you have, this is my opinion. Anyhow, that you can have sex from the 1950s all the way to the 1990s. And you talking about the 1950s when they were stringing up black people left and right, and they were looking for an excuse to kill black people? You mean to tell me that this man went through the 1960s, the 1970s, and the 1980s in this country, and they allowed him to rape 60 white women? Does that sound possible to you? I don't care what type of power he got. Does that sound possible to you? Do you know that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they burnt down Black Wall Street because a black man bumped into a white woman? Do you know that what's that little boy in Chicago? Can't believe this, man. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. That they killed that black boy, Emmett Till, for whistling, so-called whistling, when she later says she lied, at a white woman. They went into his house, pulled him out the house, and beat that young little boy, 14-year-old, to death, to the point where his body was bloated, and they had to show his hideous decaying flesh in a funeral home. And his mother was the one that wanted the people to see the type of travesty and the type of destruction that they put on this boy, because he whistled at a white woman. Do you know the kind of things that was going on between Caucasians and black people at that time? You really think that Bill Cosby would have got away with that? Man, them white people would have cut him into little pieces and spread his body all over America. Don't play with me. I'm not dumb, because I got white in my blood. All right, Irish. So don't do that. So you're not gonna make me believe that they knew the whole time that Bill Cosby was raping white women and they let him get away with it for that amount of time. You're just not gonna pass that by on me. So I'm not protecting a rapist. And I'm no near. I don't want a rapist around me. In fact, there's no one around me who talks about rape. So you can't even talk about raping somebody around me. So that's my opinion as to why I just don't believe it. Period. And they said, well, why would all these people make up a lie against him? I wouldn't say that they're making up a lie. I say that monkey see, monkey do. This is social media. We didn't have social media 30 years ago. Y'all need to understand that a lot of things that's happening with social media is happening for the first time. Social media is pretty new. I grew up without social media. So if one person say something negative about me, I bet you through social media you can find 20 more people that'll say that same negative thing about me. It doesn't have to necessarily be true. But that's why it's called social media. Social engineering of the mind, body, and emotions. Mind, will, and emotions. That's what the social media does. It impacts people's and changes people's mind, will, and emotions. Social engineering. I'm engineering your mind, will, and emotions. I'm changing them and making them be the way I want them to be. Social media is putting spells on people, man. Changing their mind and giving them false information. So a lot of people believe stuff that's not true. Why? Because it's been engineered that way. Certain narratives have been perpetuated through society. And we have to realize that the negative effects of social media have yet to be determined because it's new. There's people that are jumping out of windows and killing themselves, all because they're finding out that social media is messing with the minds and emotions and the will of people. So again, the man is 80 years old. The man is a G. Do you know that he could have got out of prison early had he just confessed that he raped those women? They would have let him out of jail. That man was willing to die in jail, man, before he admitted. He was away from his wife. He was away from the comfort of his home. That man was in jail. That man was by himself and he was blind. He's amongst inmates. If there's any other situation that can befall you that's going to make you crack, it's jail. Some of you ain't never been in jail, so you don't know. That's a celebrity that went from the most comfortable living situations to utmost hideous stink inmates around you raping each other and doing all this crazy stuff. Now you sitting on hard chairs and you got these homicidal maniacs around you and you got the nerve. And do you know that he made an impact even when he was in prison? That man made a positive impact even when he was in jail. I think we need to look at Bill Cosby as if it was us. I mean, really, look at it like that. 30 years ago, you have no. We're talking about this is. If he's not a billionaire, he's close to a billionaire. You have no video evidence. You have no tangible evidence. You have no scientific. You have no evidence whatsoever against that man. That you can say that this is evidence he raped those women. We have nothing on him, and we got charges from 30 years ago. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why did he even go to jail? Hearsay? Somebody's gonna. You think that's right? That somebody can wait 30 years and then come and bring an accusation against you? I'm asking you. You a female or male? If you're looking at this video, I'm asking you an honest question. You think it's right that somebody can bring up a 30-year-old accusation against you and have no evidence and then put you in jail for it? You think that's right? See, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're saying it's good for him, then you're saying it's good for you. I say that ain't good for me. It's not right that you can go back into my past 30 years and you have no evidence and then say that I did something that I didn't. So that's how I look at situations like that. You know what I'm saying? I think black people need to have more loyalty to their people and stop always bending and grinding and whining and jumping out the window every time somebody say something negative about me. I mean, it's almost like we got an obsession with seeing each other in a negative light. I ain't feeling that, man. I'm not feeling that.